What's up, Nuggets Nation? Welcome back to Nugget Numbers. This episode, I'm going to go into the domination that the Nuggets put on the 76ers last night. But before I do, please do all the free YouTube stuff like liking, commenting, subscribing. All that's completely free to you, and it helps me out a lot, so I'd appreciate it if you did it. But let's get into it. So, last night's game, Nuggets, I say dominated. Nuggets ended up winning 116 to 111. In classic Nuggets fashion, they made it a lot closer than it had to be. So in the third quarter, we were up 20. Nuggets were just rolling through them. It was an easy game. Without Embiid or Harden in there, I will put a little preface there, right? So all the haters out there online that Embiid and Harden didn't play, so I expected the Nuggets to win. I mean, you have your two best players on the opposing team not playing. The other team should win, right? Especially a team as skilled and as good as the Nuggets. So I expected the win here, but Nuggets made it a lot closer than it had to be. 116 to 111. We were leading majority of the game, and then in the fourth quarter, they just kind of got complacent and didn't really play ball like they should. But if this is your first game review that you're watching with me, so I break it down into a couple key categories. So I do the initial game review, look at a couple of the quarters, just see how we played, what I saw in that quarter, who was good, what I liked. Then I do a nugget of the night, so I break down one or two Nuggets players who I think deserve nugget of the night, who really did well. I do a play of the game, and then I look at the next matchup, just kind of see now that game's in our past, what do we got to look forward to? So let's get started with the first thing, which is we're looking at the overall game and some key players, right? So Nikola Jokic is always going to be the best player on the Nuggets. Like the guy is freaking incredible, right? Last night he went 25, 17, and 12 on 72.7% shooting. Those are crazy numbers. And it's another triple-double, right? He got a triple-double, I think, early in the third quarter. He's just incredible. He's a pleasure to watch. He's so much fun to watch. I was very, very upset that Joel Embiid sat out and didn't play, because those are the two big men, right? Those are the two potential MVPs, so you want to see that matchup. But Nikola Jokic didn't disappoint last night. He did what he did. He's always going to have an insane night. Jamal Murray, the number 2 on the team, he did pretty solid at 19, 5, and 7 on 57% shooting from the field. So solid night for Jamal. He I've noticed they do struggle a little bit, or Jamal struggles a little bit going into the bench unit, right? So he starts with the starters, gets subbed out early, and then his first stint with the bench can be a little bit troublesome because he's still trying to feel it out, right? And that's probably a tough transition for Jamal Murray, going from playing with Nikola Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, KCP, to playing with other players who aren't nearly their caliber. He has to switch up. It's a different type of game. So he always tends to struggle in that first little stint, but other than that, he did pretty solid this game. And third person I want to shout out is Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown did great at 18, 4, and 5 for 50% shooting. Bruce has really had a little bit of a slump lately, so this was a good game, kind of a good get-right game for him. He drove to the basket a lot, got a lot of fouls. It was a really solid game for Bruce, so I enjoyed that. If we just do quick little quarter overviews, right? Quarter 1, super solid defense to start. The starters were great. That's really it. There's not much to say. Quarter 2, bench unit was all right. This quarter, they need to find a way to score. So that's always the issue with the bench unit, and it will continue to be the issue. Hopefully, I think I saw something that will get that fixed. Quarter 3, best quarter. The starters looked amazing, and the bench played super solid. So, and then fourth quarter, that was the worst quarter. It was the fourth quarter. The Nuggets just came into it. They were up 20 leading into the fourth quarter, up like 16, 17 into the fourth quarter, and they just didn't really do what they were supposed to do. They just kind of played lazy. They didn't really secure the lead. It was they tend to do this, which is something that they need to get fixed. Is once they have that big lead, they start playing a little bit sloppier, not making that extra pass, taking maybe a contested three when if they would have made two more passes and someone cut, they could have got a wide open layup. They just play a little bit lazier when they have the lead, so they need to fix that. But an overall review of the game, it was very, very good game. But again, I'm not trying to sound cocky for the Nuggets, but it's not surprising that they won, right? You have two of the best players on the other team sitting out. No, not two of the two best players on the other team sitting out. So you expected a win from the Nuggets here, and they did. So I'm happy for that, right? That was a super solid win. It's a big win for a couple reasons. The two biggest reasons, number one, I know people are probably tired of hearing this, but the MVP race, right? I made a video on it yesterday, and that video is doing really well, so thanks if you're watching that, or if you came from watching that to this. But the MVP race, with Joel Embiid sitting out against Nikola Jokic, and Nikola Jokic having a triple-double in the game that he sat out and played as well as he did, the odds now for MVP favorite are the exact same. I think they're both plus 125 or minus 125. I don't know if it's plus or minus, but they are both the same odds now. That was a big issue for a lot of people that Joel Embiid decided to sit out in this game. Even Kendrick Perkins, who has been really, really critical of Nikola Jokic, he came out and said that, to not play in a game like this is wild. Like it's crazy. And Kendrick Perkins said he had a vote, and he'll remember that. I still think Perk is going to vote for Embiid, but yeah, it was a really big game for the MVP race. And again, as a Nuggets fan, as Nikola Jokic is my favorite player. I really think that he should get the MVP. I just love him. It'd be awesome to have a 3-time MVP, but yeah, we'll see how that plays out, but this was a huge game for that MVP race. And then the other big thing that it was for was just for the Nuggets' confidence. Again, going into the playoffs, the Nuggets just beat the Bucks, who are the best team in the league, and then they just beat the 76ers, who are the third or fourth best team in the league. So on the East, when you're looking at that, you have two top three teams who we just beat going into the playoffs. That's a huge confidence boost for the Nuggets. So I love that. It was a great game all around. Happy with everything. Let's get into, I want to get into the nugget of the night, and it was Mr. Brown. So Mr. Brown, which one? Both of them. I'm going to give both Christian Brown and Bruce Brown nugget of the night. The reason why is because recently, we all know this. It's not the starters aren't the issue, right? The starters, if we just played 5-on-5, if the NBA was just 5-on-5, the Nuggets would win the championship easily. The starters are the best starting group in the league, right? You have KCP and MPJ, who are just outstanding shooters. You have Aaron Gordon, who's probably the best slasher dunker in the league. You have Jamal Murray, who's one of the best underrated guards in my opinion, who can handle, take tough shots, run the whole team. And then you have the big guy, Nikola Jokic, who is a point center who can make incredible starters are not the issue. The bench is, right? So Bruce Brown coming in and having 18 points, a couple rebounds. What was it? 18 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 50% from the field. This is huge because Bruce before, since the All-Star break, he had been averaging 10, 4, and 2 on 44% from the field. Yeah, so Bruce Brown easily is the nugget of the night. He got to the line way more than he normally does. And I love that. That was a big reason. The starters aren't the issue. The bench is the issue. So Bruce Brown getting to the line, making his shots, just he turned on a new level that I haven't seen in a while, right? We know Bruce Brown can be a great player. We just haven't seen him do that in a while. So it was really good to see him get into it. 18 points. He was awesome off the bench, and I think that's really what set us apart. And Christian Braun gets the honorable mention or co-nugget of the night because Christian Braun, I think, can be our next KCP because KCP is obviously a little bit older, and I think he'll be with the team for a couple more years, but Christian Braun plays incredible defense. He shoots the ball very well. Well, not very well. He shoots the ball good. If he can he's good at shooting. Last night, for example, he had a great corner three, another great corner three, and an insane putback dunk. And played great defense. He brings a spark to the bench that they've needed for a while, and he just feeds off of other people. So Christian Braun, I think, is a co-nugget of the night. And let's get into the play of the night. I already quickly mentioned it a couple seconds ago. The play of the night has to be Christian Braun's putback dunk. It was insane. The kid got up there, and it was a really, really big thing for the bench as well, and just the whole team. It gave them that energy, kept that momentum going. So I'll cut to a clip here. It was insane. That was awesome, right? So when we do just a quick overview again, great game by the Nuggets. All the players played really well. No one really to get concerned about. Shout out to Bruce and Christian. They're looking good off the bench, and hopefully they can keep that going the rest of the way here. If we let's look at the future matchup now, right? Future matchup, they're going to be playing the Pelicans, and the only thing I'm concerned about with the Pelicans, because when I look at matchups, I look at a couple things. I really just look at, okay, who's going to match up against who, right? You have AG going to match up against Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is probably the Pelicans' best scorer when Zion's off the floor, which he is. And then you have CJ McCollum. And CJ is solid, but I think they're probably just going to put KCP on CJ and AG on BI. And the rest, no one can guard Nikola Jokic in the league. Absolutely no one. So I'm not worried about that. I mean, Herb Jones is going to be pretty good against Murray. I believe that's his name. He's a younger guard who's super solid over there. So I think it'll be a good game. The only thing I think the Nuggets have to worry about is just like in this fourth quarter of this game, they really just kind of gave up. Not gave up, they just played sloppy. They had the lead. They really were like, yeah, I'm just going to play, whatever feels best for me. Let me take this 3-point. They weren't playing smart ball. So the issue, I think, with the Pelicans is going to be who wants it more. The Nuggets tend to play at the level of their opponent. And the Pelicans really need a couple games to get out of the play-in and into the playoffs. So they're probably going to have a little bit more fire under them to, if they win this game, it's a big game to beat the top team in the West, and it'll help them get out of the playoff or the play-in and into the playoffs. It's huge, right? So I think the Pelicans will probably have a little bit more fire under them, and that's something that the Nuggets should just really kind of hopefully match their energy and not come out slow. But other than that, this is an amazing game. I loved watching it. I was disappointed Embiid wasn't in, but yeah, that's really it for the game summary. So go Nuggets Nation, right? And like I said, please do all the stuff below, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.